sikhulumisana ngendaba ye-drug and substance abuse, sikhangele ama-issues socio-economic. A lot of young people abuse drug and substance, abuse alcohol, they abuse marijuana, they abuse other drugs that we can mention. But what I would like to point out at this point is that you'd find out a lot of young people nowadays by healthy aware deteriorate. Why? Because of alcohol. Engavuka ekuseni kuyenzana ucabanga uyanatha lamali lembichi zakhe preaching lapha. But okuqhakathekile kakhulu ukuthi siukhangele ukuthi kanti why vele esukuma endlini esiyanatha lembichi zakhe lapha. Right. You'll find ukuthi ku situation lesikiyo khathesi imisebenzi ayikho ayitholakali. And la ku siyakhuthaza ukuthi siqalise imisebenzi and but eqalisa njani ama opportunities lakhona awakho. So uyananzelela ukuthi a lot of young people bagcina sebesiyanatha utshwala evuka ekuseni esiyavukela utshwala laphana esiya khona ungakukhangela ngeaspect yami khona yama young people is that singivukile then what ngiyenze. And the only thing engayenza kathesi ukuthi ngiyogojisa lamajita nxa sigojisa lamajita laphana siyenzani. Ngile stress kade sokuthi okay endlini laphana impuphu isiphela umasalo lokho engikhangele lokho sigijimisana nomasalo endlini laphana uthi alright impuphu siphelile yimi ngidla kakhulu endlini laphana umasalo ya complain serious unawo amoyinkazana laphana ke letha ama something letha uwathethe evela kuba. So ukho ezinye izinto zwanizana esuke ezinstress mina njengomuntu omutsho ukuthi okay fine kumele ngikhanye ngincedisa lapha ngikhaya but ngizancedisa njani. Sikwabana ukuze ngiqede stress. Of course asoze siphele utshwala bayamba ngaphela siyaphenduka. But isikhathi sona lesena sidlulile ngingananzeli ukuthi isikhathi siyadlula. So yikho khona kuyane sabe engebe kufuna mina njengomuntu omusha. And kwesinsikhathi futhi ngiyasuka ngihambe ngiyedinga imisebenzi. Shona ngibeyambe edrobheni ngidinga umsebenzi. Angiyuthole. The next thing enza kwenza yini? Nxa semphendula laphana ngifuna ukuphumula ngifuna ukuthi ngimphendula ngisihlalele phansi ngiphumule because ngiyahlala phansi ngizaqala ukucabanga. Ungane wami bese kuya laphana cha amathuphuzi ngizayekela yini? Asoze ngiyekele because ngifuna ukuphumuza ingqondo. So siyabona ama effects ama drugs la of course singakhuluma ngokuthi abantu abasha i-drug lokho but ziningi izinto ezinjani ezikhoza khona. Yikho sesingena ke ku socio-economic issues khona ukuthi alright ukuze mina nginjani ngibheme lapha ukuhambe njani yini esuke yenzakala sesikhangela i-economy khona futhi ingenzeka. Esingakwenza as the community is asifunda nini. Mina umuntu omutsha ngifunda ukuthi abadala bona babesenzana njalo ukuthi babekwenza nje.
Hi guys, I'm Stewie Savage. I'm a freelance blogger. My blog is titled According to Stewie Savage, and I'm going to be talking about cyberbullying. Cyberbullying is harassing of people online, like on social media platforms. And personally, I think the only way to stop cyberbullying is to reach out to those bullies and try to find out their problems. Because most of those cyberbullies, I think they're people who feel less of themselves, people who are not fully confident, who feel like bringing others down makes them feel better. So I think the only way to stop that is reaching out to those cyberbullies, providing them counseling and everything. And it's really bad. Cyberbullying is really bad because I've seen experiences of people committing suicide just because they've been bullied online or something bad was said about them online. So it's really bad. It really needs to stop. And to those cyberbullies, I think before you post out something bad about someone, try to understand how that person will feel after seeing that, or try to see how that person will feel after reading that post or after people seeing that post, and how will people view that person after what you've posted, after what you've said about them online. And I've seen a lot of experiences whereby people commit suicide, marriages are broken due to cyberbullying and other things, and others like they end up in having mental disorders and other mental problems, which is really bad. If someone sends you pornography, explicit content, if someone talks to you in a bad way or starts insulting you, as an individual, you need to block the person or report the person. I see, like in most of our social media networks, you find there's an option that says report. You report that person and you block them, because most of the times those things they always bring you down, and they always destroy someone's esteem. So if you feel like this person is persisting, it's still continuing, you can actually report them to your closest police station and everything, because it is actually a crime, and it is highlighted in the Constitution that it is a crime. So you need to report those people, whether with the police or just tell anyone you trust if you feel it's getting too deep. And you find sometimes those people will be threatening you or blackmailing you in a certain way, which is also cyberbullying, because if the person is blackmailing you in a certain way, you need to report them, you need to talk to someone who can help you. And if you are a cyberbully, I would suggest you get counseling, go for therapy, because it is really bad what you're doing. Put yourself in that person's shoes. If someone posts bad things about you, if someone says bad things to you, how will you feel? And what will you say to that person? And how will people react, or how will people look at you? So I think the best way is for you to seek counseling before posting anything. And before posting anything, just ask yourself if this thing will highlight to that person in a good way or in a bad way. And as a bully, the other thing that you should notice is when you are fighting with someone, or maybe let me just say you're not a bully, but someone provoked you and you want to get back to them online, just consider that at the end of the day, something bad might happen. You might end up being beaten or being killed. They always say, for every bully, there's a bigger bully. So in closing, I'd say, please use the internet for the betterment of the society, not for destroying the society, not for destroying people's lives. Use the internet to motivate or inspire someone else. Don't use the internet for bad things, because sometimes those things might end up causing serious damages, permanent damages.
Hi, my name is Hilary, and I am the Managing Director for Falaki Funerals, a young person. One of the major things that I've noticed, especially on youth economic apathy, is the fact that when you are a young person in Zimbabwe, you need money to start up a business. And you find that accessibility to the loans, accessibility to the information like e-company registration has become an issue in Zimbabwe. The young people seated in Malokishini and doing so many other things, who want to start businesses or actually have graduate degrees, find it hard to access some loans without collateral, without 6-to-5 job. At the same time, the reason why young people also cannot attend budget consultation meetings.
You realize that not as many young people are participating there. And of course that can speak to the timing of those meetings. Say if they are during the week, that's the time that many of the young people will be at work, or they are pushing their different hustles. So there's need, of course, to have those meetings maybe on a weekend when people are not working. But also I believe there's need for information to say what is the benefit of attending a budget consultation meeting in the first place. How does it affect one's business? Because I believe that would actually assist young people to attend the meetings at the end of the day.
Processes of economic planning, microeconomic spaces, and all these other things, young people are not really included, and they are not youth friendly. So perhaps in a way I would suggest, as a young person who's in business, to all the companies or the policymakers or the individuals or the banks, the microfinance, the economic industry, to try and involve young people from the budgeting, the planning processes, the budgeting processes, as well as the implementation and evaluation of the economy of the country. So in a way, the inclusion is one of the key needed things.
Looking at whether young people are investing or they are actually thinking of saving money, I think one would realize that most people have transaction accounts, like your basic current account, and they are not really opening your savings account. And the reason could be maybe people do not have the money to start off with, and when there's low income or irregular income levels, you realize that many people would rather not bank their money. And another reason could be the lack of confidence in our banking sector. So that is affecting the young people's participation in economic issues.
So for young people to also invest in other young people, or companies invest in young people, is one of the challenges that we are seeing in this economic region, because the bulk of it, our markets are actually outside. Our internal markets from our region are seeming to be dropping. We used to be the clean down that looks after cows, that has really different opportunities. Now it's more of a cultural hub, but now investing in those, young people are lacking the resources as much.
There's need to build young people's skills in terms of having the right skills to say, this is how you start a business, this is how you run your business successfully. Because at times we might feel that people are not starting their businesses because they have no access to funding. But you hear some people, if you do some research, there are people who have started businesses without funding. So perhaps that research to say, how can I do it even without having to access a loan, might be the information and the skills that we need.
As young people, I would encourage the creation of small to medium enterprise groups, cooperatives, to allow you to access loans. I'm aware of the Empower Bank that gives cross loan guaranteeing when you're a young person, you're a group of young people who want to start a similar business. And then you can be given a loan that you all cross guarantee each other for the money that you are loaning out from the company. And then also the issue of ISALs, whereas you start up a company and invest in whatever you're doing, and then you share the profits as you are going. EcoShow has what we call umkandirana, and those are some of the things that young people can actually be doing to get involved in these spaces, but also as well try and get involved in the economic processes that are there, understand the budgets that are done, public consultations that are done with from city council level to the national government level budget processes. Try and digest, find someone who knows some of these things and understand, so that you also have an input into the processes that are there, especially in economic planning and investment, because one day it affects you and how you want to do business and understanding the business that you want to do. Because if you are non-researched and you say, mina ngibone ubani senza potatoes and I want to venture into potatoes, but you don't understand the field, do what you're good at, so that you find that economies, it will open up for you. There are opportunities within the economy that will open up for you.
And then also just an appreciation to say, how is our economy as a country? How does it work? What are the certain policies that have been put in place that are either promoting investment or promoting economic activity? I think we would need to have an appreciation of that, so much that when you start your business, you are then able to align it. I always like to say, in as much as we want to encourage thinking out of the box, but there is a box, and that box is the policies that have been put in place by the government, is the economic environment. And once creativity as an entrepreneur or as a business person comes into play, when they consider all those policies and the environment, and then they try to build a business which is going to be able to withstand the negative environment. So I believe the skills will be necessary in that regard, as well as, of course, access to funding and access to other opportunities that would help to grow their businesses.
My name is Tamis Osbanda. I work with young people in sexual and reproductive health, with particular interest to the issues to do with access to sexual and reproductive health services for young women and girls. Sexual and reproductive health does not only speak about one having a good or satisfying sex, so as to say, but sexual and reproductive health talks about the whole component of one's well-being, that is from mental, that is from social, that is from physical, and all the other important aspects of their lives. In Zimbabwe, young people are faced with a lot of challenges in terms of sexual and reproductive health, especially when it comes to accessing the services. So the challenges that are affecting young people in tertiary institutions, especially the young girls, is issues to do with access to the sexual and reproductive health commodities. And when I'm talking about sexual and reproductive health commodities, I'm talking about things to do with condoms, access to family planning services, and so forth and so forth. Because you find out that we have a lot of unsafe abortions, and some of them are actually coming from the young people who are in tertiary institutions, if not the abuse of the emergency pill. So this is actually showing that we have got a very huge gap in terms of programming for the young people in tertiary institutions, especially the young girls. So far in Zimbabwe, 16% of the maternal mortality, the maternal deaths, are actually coming from unsafe abortions, and we know that most of these unsafe abortions are coming from young people in tertiary institutions. Therefore, we need to ensure that young people in tertiary institutions have access not only to information pertaining to sexual and reproductive health, but to ensure that the actual service is affordable and accessible to them wherever they are in tertiary institutions.
Hi, my name is Kudakwashe Kunzekwekuta. I'm going to be talking about gender-based violence. Gender-based violence is harm inflicted on an individual. It can be emotionally, it can be physically, it can be sexually, even economically. Gender-based violence affects everyone, but in most cases, young girls and women are the victims of gender-based violence. It's something that happens to people, and those people are not even aware that they're going through something, or they're being a victim of gender-based violence. Looking at what we are going through now as a country, most people are going through economic abuse. They're being abused by their partners because they are stressed, they're frustrated. Though this is not a reason whereby someone can say, I'm beating you, or because I'm going through something. Those are the highlights that you are being victimized when someone beats you, or when someone emotionally blackmails you, or they abuse you verbally, or even economic, that maybe you are a young woman, you want to go and look for employment, they tell you no, you cannot do that. That's abuse, that's economic abuse. And most young girls are going through that. They're facing economic abuse as well as emotional abuse in Bulawayo, because our economic isn't allowing us to get job opportunities, to get to work. So we are not independent enough. That's gender-based violence. We are also facing sexual harassment in campuses, whereby a student is forced to sleep with a lecturer only to make sure that they're going to pass. Those are the things that young girls are going through, even young men. These are the things that they're going through on campus. When people are sending sexual pictures to you that you don't want, though, that's sexual harassment. And when people are, let's say a guy licking his lips, and you don't like that, that's sexual harassment. A lot of people here in Bulawayo, a lot of young people here in Bulawayo, they don't know that this is sexual harassment. And sexual harassment also falls under gender-based violence. And we also have domestic violence. This is between a husband and a wife, and an ex-wife or an ex-husband, ex-boyfriend or ex-girlfriend. Why does this fall under domestic violence, especially the boyfriend and the girlfriend? Those people now know each other intimately. They are now close together. They're more like family. So those people can also be perpetrators to you. They can also cause harm to you. And sometimes, let's say you have parted with your ex-boyfriend or ex-husband, they start stalking you. That's also abuse. And we've been working so hard with the police to make sure that most cases are reported, because some people don't report those cases because they don't really know if they are going through abuse or not. Because society is quick to judge that. Why is she staying? Why is she getting involved with this person? That's the question. Why do you stay with such a person or in a toxic relationship? Now it's time for us women and young girls to speak out, to get out of those situations. But we cannot do it alone. We need you men as well to stand with us, to protect us, to fight for us, to also tell your brother that what you're doing to her is wrong. To also tell your father that what you're doing is wrong. Let us empower each other on protecting each other so that we can have a better society which is free from violence, so that we can build our nation.
Hi, my name is Bushe Mshana. What is gender-based violence? Gender-based violence is any form of violence inflicted on any gender. It can be a woman, it can be a man. I believe as a community of Bulawayo, we need to stand up and say enough is enough, because some of these GBV cases that are coming up are very petty issues that could be solved amongst people, amongst the society. But instead, at times, our societies tend to ignore the very much of the smallest of them all things, forgetting that it can be a small case, it can be a very big case, but those very small cases can lead to death. Those very small cases are actually filling up cemeteries of Bulawayo. We need to take a heed as citizens of Bulawayo and stand up, not only us, but the law enforcers as well, to say enough is enough. Because if we do not do that, then we will have a community, we will have a society that is peopleless, let me put it that way, of no people at all. My major question still stands: what are the law enforcers doing? Because look, you will go and report at the police station, okay, my neighbor has been beaten up by her husband, or I have been beaten up by my boyfriend. What are you doing about it? Are you going to arrest the person and take the law fully into your hands to make sure that this perpetrator is arrested, or what? What is it that you're going to do? But there are cases whereby I will go and report that my husband has raped me, or my husband has inflicted violence upon me. And the first thing that I will get is, he is your husband, go and sort it out. What then happens to me? I will go back home. Next thing you will hear that I have been slaughtered because I have gone and I have reported. It's a case not been solved by the police, and yet we're saying that I am a victim of GBV. Do take me seriously. This is not a case whereby I'm reporting out of nowhere. It is something that is happening. What will then happen to my kids if I am a victim of these mass killings? What will then happen to my family? Are people going to live with that stigma to say, my mother, our sister-in-law was killed by this, and yet she could have done something, and yet the law could have done something upon it? Then, on the other hand, you find that women become so aggressive because the minute they try and speak out about GBV to the relevant people, they are not heard. I am saying it is time our voice gets heard out there, because women are the major victims of GBV, the major victims of mass killings that are happening in our city. Reading in the newspapers, in the press and everything, it's not a joke. It's not something that people should just take lightly. It's something that is real. It is something that is happening. It is something that people should not sit back and fold their hands and say that, okay, all shall be well. Crushing again cultural norms that say ukuthi umfazi kumele aqinisele noma umendo lunzima uzaqinisela but you will go 6 feet under the ground. Uqinisela kunjalo. Our parents, our relatives, people should rally behind the woman who is a victim of gender-based violence to say, look, yes, you are. But it should not end there. Support me and give me that moral support. Give me that support that I need so that I can be strong enough to fight what is happening. So that I can be strong enough to say, look, I will not go down the grave because I am me. I have got kids. Not only do I have kids, but I need to set an example to other women to say, you can get out of the situation when you want to. Gender-based violence has to stop. We are women and we need to be heard. Thank you.